Am I the asshole for digging into my friend's boyfriend's past behind her back and then telling her family what I found? Story time. I, 30 female, have a close friend. 30 female with 2 young kids. We've been best friends since we were 16. She recently started a relationship with a guy she met on TikTok who lives in another state. According to her, they've been talking for about a year, but they only met in person for the first time last weekend. Despite that, she's already considering having him move here and live with her and the kids. She doesn't currently have much income, so she would likely be financially dependent on him if that happened. Early on, when I asked about him, she refused to tell me his real name and would only refer to him by a stage name because he's apparently in some kind of band. Every time I asked his real name, she deflected back to the stage name. Side note. The only time this friend has ever kept anything from me is when she knows she's wrong and is avoiding getting called out for it. A few things she told me raised red flags for me. He claims he's a paramedic in New Mexico. He has 6 kids between 2 women ranging from about 15 years old to 9 months old, but says he has no contact with any of them because all of his exes are crazy. She's only met him once in person, but is already talking about marriage and moving in together because the situation felt serious, so I ended up looking him up. After piecing together some information from his social media, I was able to find his legal name. Once I had that, I found public court records showing he had been charged with first-degree murder in New Mexico after a shooting during an argument with an eventual plea deal of voluntary manslaughter. According to the reports, there were dozens of witness statements saying there was no struggle, just an argument, a gun pulled, a question asked, and then the trigger pulled. He was incarcerated from 2016-2024. I also tried verifying the paramedic claim by checking the New Mexico EMS license lookup and could not find any license under his name. When I brought this up to her, she said the case was self-defense and told me not to judge him for his past. I told her I wasn't judging his past as much as I was worried about how quickly everything was moving and the things that weren't adding up. Because of that, I told her 2 sisters and the fathers of her kids about what I found so they could at least be aware of the situation. Now she's furious and says I betrayed her and went behind her back. I know going to her family and the kids' dads was a big step, and maybe I overstepped, but because children could potentially be involved in moving into the situation, Elle felt like staying quiet would have been irresponsible. I very much believe people can change for the better, but given her track record of awful taste in men and the fact she has 2 young kids she's exposing to anyone she dates, it's just not worth the risk. She seems determined to screw herself up, but I had to draw the line for the kids, even if it means losing my lifelong friend. So guys, am I the asshole? Update. She's really trying hard to convince me that this guy has been rehabilitated. He's a good man. The sisters talked to the parole officer. We confirmed he's no longer on parole and did the work and followed the rules. Even if the incident never happened, the timeline is super concerning. She thinks he knows him so well because they FaceTime all the time, even though they've met in person once for just one night. That's not enough knowing someone to move them in with your 9-year-old daughter. So guys, let me know your thoughts.